Hello, my name is David O'Brien. And I'm here for your success in the areas of purity. Hello and welcome back to the Purity Forum broadcast. My name is David O'Brien. I'm your bondage breaker. I'm happy to be here with you today, talking with you about the subject of the fat serpent seductress. You may not have heard even what seductress means in your generation, as I'm mainly targeting this to young people. And I spoke to a relative of mine once. He said, "What is a seductress?" Seductress is a very common older word, but it means somebody, a female, of the female side of the species, who hunts, who goes after a man as if he is her prey. So we're talking about the big fat serpent. A big fat serpent is found in the jungle. It could be a python, a boa constrictor, but basically they're huge, but they're always camouflaged to whatever environment they're in. In other words, if you don't look closely, you will not see this person near you. You could walk through happy-go-lucky, as it's called, and totally miss the danger that's right near your ear about to strike you. Secondly, a large serpent doesn't just kill you with venom and one bite and you're dead. It's not like you get shot in the head in your school, whether you're in high school or wherever you are. It's not like someone comes in with a gun and shoots you. Don't be afraid of that either. But we should never live in fear. We live with understanding on how to deal with situations. But the thing is, if there's somebody, when we're talking about the big fat serpent, that serpent does not want to just kill you. It wants to squeeze and suffocate you. It is actually very different, and it's like, when it comes to the seductress, also it slimes you. Meaning, contact with this being, this kind of person and spirit that the person has, contact with that leaves you slimes, like something's on you, like a slug or whatever. It's on you that you wasn't there before you had contact, and after it's there, and it's kind of like someone put a shot in your head and just you don't know where you're at or what's going on. It's not physical. That is something affecting your nervous system, your central nervous system, and it made you woozy. Well, what that is you have had a spiritual encounter with a seductress. Now, a seductress, you need to understand what a seductress is. Let's move away from the analogy of the serpent for a moment. I want to explain to you the peril of a seductress. Now, a seductress is basically has been hurt herself. You need to understand this. A seductress has a permanent wound unless she gets healed by a higher power, which is why I'm doing this show. If you find yourself in that category, watch some of my episodes. You can be freed from that. But a seductress has been hurt. She herself fell into a trap, or some sort of an evil hunter attacked and diminished her. Made her see herself. That was generally a male, not always, but generally a male, attacked her when she was susceptible, somehow deceived her, or simply straight attacked her and diminished her in her view of herself in her own eyes. So that now she feels she cannot escape a low view of herself. So her energy is always there. It's always going toward how to elevate myself in her own eyes or in the perceived eyes of others. And one way to do that is to prey on men, on males, especially successful males, especially if you're popular or doing well. The seductress will be there, especially if you have God nestled in the inside of you. If God is your life, you are valuable to God, of course, but to the earth, to the plans of God in the earth. You're extremely valuable, and you will help a lot of people. You have a light shining through you. And it's not visible to the physical eye. This is not a physical science. This is reality. This goes beyond the physical realm. You are communicating something. And people see it and know it. Whether they respond appropriately or not, that's on them. You need to know it and know this. That seductress serpent will show up and try to somehow basically scrape against you with her poison. And if she can, she will get a hold of you and suffocate you in your own bedroom. It could happen in your own bedroom. Why? Because nowadays there's all kinds of seductresses using media, electronic media. Electronic media is very good. It was made by God and by inventors, I believe, but definitely for the purpose of God, which is the good news, to get it out to people around the world and to put positive, godly images before people so they can learn. But that seductress has, in a large degree, hijacked that. So even in your own bedroom, that enemy can come lurking and trying to mess with you. But here's how you deal with it. When you deal with a snake, you go for the head, you cut it off. In other words, don't play around with it, don't dabble with it, don't let it come near. Speak the truth. You need to receive truth so that you can see truth, so that you can speak truth. When you receive enough truth, it becomes a reality before your eyes. You know it. Other people around you, even close family members, believers in Jesus sometimes, they don't see it. You see it. Now speak accordingly and walk that way. And you, my friend, will have good rest. You'll have good sleep as you sleep. I'm telling you the truth. You will. So do that. Now I want to get back to the seductress, the fat serpent seductress. So basically she's been wounded. She's been hurt. She carries a wound, and that is almost a crippling wound, and that causes her to act the way she does. If a young woman or an older woman, whoever it is bent on getting you to notice her, not just notice, not just be nice, to fall for her, to follow her. There's a magnetic pull, but it's like a staple. It's not a magnet. She wants to get you. Now that is a seductress, and we need to detach and stay away from that person, except you have to have skill to go near, drop bombs of love and truth out of your mouth, and keep moving. Because you can free her, my friend. And if you do that, you've reached the highest point of this challenge. This is one of the challenges in life. But if you get stuck in your brain, now the human brain, generally speaking, if you're in the low-level realm of earth, people are selfish and they love pleasure. The brain doesn't even know, it just loves pleasure. So if you all of a sudden, you just start following her because of her beautiful image, because of that seductive nature that's there, what will happen is, unfortunately, you will eventually be bit by an apex predator. Now, this is what I want to share with you, because the seductress turns into, eventually, first she's a serpent, and then she turns into a great white shark. That is true on whatever form she shows up in your life. If you allow that person to catch you, to get you, and you give in you give in. And I'm telling you, there's a suffocation. Eventually, at the end, there is what's called accusation. And that accusation is the bite of a great white shark. It's got a lot of force, a lot of pressure, and it's taken down, the scripture says, many men. Many are those who are slain by her. Many, a big, huge pile of men, millions of men. But you, young man or young woman, because it works on the other side just differently, keep yourself pure, keep yourself out of it, keep your head above that in the spiritual atmosphere where there's good thoughts, where there's refreshing, where there's God, not down in the low level realms.